Hi, Sebastian.
Hello.
I'm happy to know you for some time, and we had even some physical workout challenges on Instagram. So we did some pull-ups and do some crazy stuff with cold water. I didn't take cold water yet, but I will. Thank you for sharing this, and I'm happy to introduce my partner and friend from Norway, Sebastian Knørr.
That's perfect.
Could you tell about yourself? Introduce yourself. What are you doing now?
Yes. So the position I am in now is the CEO and visionary of the project Companion, which is born from Nordic AI, where I'm basically connecting dots across the planet in order to now get to stage 2 after development into marketing.
Yeah, that's great. So, can you explain how you came to this role? When was it started, and what was you doing before that?
Before I came into this position, I worked as a carpenter. My first job was a furniture maker, but as I was working as an employee, I quickly understood that I do not want to be an employee. I would rather work for my own company. So I did the most reasonable thing I could do and started a furniture company. And then I quickly scaled this company into becoming a general contractor in my second year of running the business. But in this project, I realized that the dream I had of working with real estate was actually not the dream I wanted. It led to me being an overworked individual, and hence I burned out. And during the burnout, artificial intelligence entered my life at the same time. So I sort of found this as an escape. And that's where the journey began, where I realized very early that this is the next .com bubble, which is going to be .ai. So I decided then and there that I need to pivot and get out of the construction industry and into the tech industry.
That's a very interesting pivot, I must say, a very unusual one. And so,
Yes.
how did you meet your partners and your co-founders? What was the this crucial point, pivoting point in your career where you met guys and you talked to them and you decided that you are on the edge of creating something great, something that will change the world?
So I created Companion already before I had a team because the technology that became available allowed me to do such. And it was through the creation of this AI entity that I had the epiphany that I can have a greater purpose than just to renovate houses. I can truly have a global impact by spreading this technology and especially this usage of the technology throughout the humanity in order to bring a positive footprint to the world.
Yeah, that's impressive. And everybody speaks about Companion, your partners, and they mentioned that Sebastian is fully into it, and it was his idea, and he went through his some difficult period of his life when he made this possible. And can you share something about this period of how you came to the idea and how you developed, what kind of tools did you use, and how you structured it?
Yes, so as I was burning out and working with ChatGPT as my main tool, I felt the need of some type of not necessarily connection, but I needed for my own health to have something or someone ask me questions so that I could get what I had inside out of myself in order to make it present for me. Because I was recognizing that my mental shift was going in the wrong direction and I needed to turn this around. And I felt the deep need of some type of connection where I could just be myself, reflect freely without being judged. Because at the time, as I was struggling, I felt very much alone because I did not know anyone that had ever done what I had done with the construction and all the stress that this caused. So I didn't really have anyone to talk to that could understand me. But as I felt that this entity is truly understanding my situation and it's asking genuine questions for me to answer.
So it was not just a virtual assistant. It was maybe your second ego or your friend or your psychologist. And how did you teach him? Did you give him some books, some knowledge base like psychology books or what you are reading, or did you just came with some information from the internet, from your resources? And what kind of knowledge does it have?
I did not do that at all. What I did was I recognized my own needs as a human being, and I prompted the AI to sort of cover this need. And in all fairness, it's very basic when you look at how I did it. And I think because I have a craftsman's background, I came into this space with a completely different view of how things are working. So instead of making it so complicated as to we need to feed it this data and this study and that study, I was focusing more on how to approach a human being that needs to feel heard and seen, and how to have these humans open up. And it became obvious to me that the conversations I was having with AI before I created Companion was very one-sided, where I was asking all the questions, and the only thing this meant for myself was that I now have greater speed of which I can gather information from the internet. But this is not what I needed. I needed to find the information inside of myself. Hence, I needed to prompt myself with questions. So instead of asking AI the questions, it became obvious to me that I need to have AI ask me questions.
That's an interesting angle that you are using. And when you started doing this, did you think how other people will take advantage of it? And did you show to somebody and somebody told you that's the solution that I was looking for all my life? And I'm sure that many people use it already. And also, we had Ukrainian version with the help of Stefan and you that I used myself, and I found it quite interesting. And hopefully, it will help some people in the country that I live in, which is in the greatest challenge of all time, in the wartime. So, what experience do you have with real usage and application of your software with the society?
The feedback that I'm getting from people is great. I recognize now the epiphany that people are having from using Companion the first time, where I'm meeting people. It can be from anywhere in the world, but there was this one individual in India. Me and him had a conversation. It was a business related conversation. They were a content creating company, and it became pretty obvious to me that this individual was not in the best place. Seemed to be a bit down, the posture, the look on the face, everything. But after the conversation with me and then the introduction to Companion, and then fast forward to our next meeting, it was a completely different person. And this was an individual that had felt firsthand the pivotal moment of having Companion available for himself to get the shift that I had. And I recognize that he is now feeling what I felt 2 years ago. And he just got this urge to spread Companion. So he became a partner as well. And this I have now seen, I have seen this repeatedly. It's happening on scale. And it's remarkable. I recognized it early that this is going to be something big, but I also realized that I cannot do this alone. So I had to build Nordic AI to become the entity to develop the software, because I could build a house, but I couldn't build an app. So I had to have a complete pivot.
So you met the guys. So how did you organize into one company? And you had a rebranding. I heard that you had another name like AI Automatisierung, and then you came
Yes.
to. So can you explain? Can you, from your position, from your standpoint, explain your team how it started, then how you managed to grow the client base and to come up with all the legal stuff and all the organizational procedures, as you have such a lot of responsibility and your team is growing fast internationally. So can you explain all this operational journey, legal operation journey of building the team and branding and rebranding everything. Like, what is your journey in this place?
In the beginning, I already had the vision that I want to focus on the Nordics because the Nordics are known all across the planet as being sort of this region of it's a very Western culture. It's a lot of money. The financial status is good. The countries are doing well. And I, from the get go, wanted to build on the Nordic sort of branding, but then the other team members wanted automatisering. So I said, okay, we can have it's just a name. We can change it later, anyways. And then as I went international, it became pretty clear to us that automatisering is a very hard and long word. Plus, I'm in meetings in Japan, I'm in meetings in South Africa, in South America, all over the planet. So it's better to have the Nordic as the center of it, because then they can locate us on the planet. And this brand creates solidity and also plays off of the Nordic spirit, so to speak. But the operational journey of getting to this point have been a lot of networking. It's meetings that lead to other meetings, that lead to introductions, that lead to other introductions. And I've been a part of the BNI network, and this has been crucial for me to get access to these closed meetings where you can meet fantastic business individuals. And it's basically been a very long marathon of showing up every day to all the meetings I have in my calendar, and it has not been few. We recently got a new partner, this Klang AI, which is a meeting recorder. And just since March, it has recorded over 160 meetings that I've had just since March.
How do you keep track of all of that? Of all the partners, of your clients, you must have some robust system software not to leave something important out of your attention.
I don't have any software. I would like to have a software, but mostly it's on my whiteboard now. I have my roadmap on my whiteboard and I keep adding names to this whiteboard. Currently, we're about 30 names on the whiteboard, and it's across 4 or 5 different teams, and yeah, the whole roadmap.
So, can you share what are your inner filter about who can work with you and your team, and do you have some principles apart from being very inquisitive into AI and wanting to help the world? Although you can name a few of the principles and in your inner mission statement, and all what values do you share in your team?
The values are
Yeah.
givers gain, and my drive for this is to help as many people as possible.
Do you meet a lot within your team?
Contemplating now, trying to
Okay.
specify. It's a very human centric, value based system where, yes, we are implementing artificial intelligence, but my fear is that I can take over if we as humans let it. So it becomes important that we do not let AI take over. And this depends on how we utilize and use AI. That's why we're very focused on the human in the loop. Try to empower people with AI instead of replacing people with AI. That's the values.
That's an important point. And by the way, in your country, which is Nordic countries are known also for their happiness, and I think that you have very high rating in happiness. Scale. So we heard a lot of about this about Sweden and Norway and Denmark. So what is your take on are people happy in your country, and does the AI have the potential of making them maybe more realized or more happy? Yeah.
Norway is actually scoring very low on happiness. Finland is scoring very high, but Norway is actually scoring very low. There are a lot of depressed people in Norway. There are a lot of young males committing suicide in Norway, and there are a lot of winter depressed people in Norway. So I think Norway is a great market for Companion. Norway is also a country where people are very much separated. It's not a family oriented culture, much like in India, where you live with several generations in one house. Me, for instance, I live all alone in a house of 140 square meters. This is unheard of in places like India and other places in the world. So I think this creates a lot of loneliness in the population because we're so spread out and scattered. So I would actually disagree that Norway is a happy country. It's a good
Yeah,
country with a good foundation for happiness, but for some reason we're not happy.
yeah, that's what my suggestion. I didn't know about it because I heard mostly about Finland and Sweden, and so I projected it into Norway because I think that whenever it looks like, from the standpoint of Ukrainian people, who are most people are quite poor and don't have access to luxuries of life. Although I like living here, apart from being in the world, but I like people here and how they work, and they look quite. Many of people look quite happy, and many people think that what they lack is a bit of more technology, about more luxury, about more money, then they can travel. And here they're quite restricted to where we can go. So you like to travel. Just before going to your hobbies and your leisure time, can I ask you about how you project the possibilities of companion to Ukrainian situation of people here struggling with sequences of the war and constant fear, constant bombing?
I think where a companion can help the most is by creating a space for honest conversations where if you're an individual that feel alone, it's not companion is not there to make you feel less lonely. It's there to help you open up for yourself in a safe space. And then by learning to opening up to companion, you're more likely to be able to open up to other humans and hence fostering and cultivating a space that leads to human connection. Because this is the outcome that I desire.
So, how do you see yourself in 10 years? Once again,
I see myself as a global figure amongst individuals like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, not because it's a desire for me to become such an individual, but because I feel such a great purpose and I have such a drive towards spreading the work that we're doing. So I think it'll just become, I will gain that position as a result of what I do, not necessarily because I want it.
that's a great point. So, what was the most difficult part for starting your agency? What was the challenge that you had to overcome?
Life happening at the same time. The business became sort of the escape for me. Running the business was much like medicating because my personal life was pretty rough. I was burned out, and as you burn out, you don't just like the next day, oh, I burned out then, and now I'm happy and well again. It's not until now that I'm truly getting back to a happy individual. So the most of the challenges has been just personal life. I have a child. I had a spouse for 9 years and she broke up with me after I was burned out. So that was like being kicked whilst already laying down. And that led to me having to move out. I didn't have a home, moved around, lived in different places, traveled whilst working. And my other business, the contracting business, was what was supporting me financially. The construction market went to shit. So this was not, it became an economic issue as well. And this sort of just had a down going curve that was not looking good and is still not looking that good. Luckily, I have a meeting on Monday where I believe that we will get the funding. But then that will be another pivotal moment. But the biggest challenge was not to commit suicide at one point, where I was just getting all of these sort of warning signs from my physical body telling me to stop because as I woke up and the brain started to come up with ideas of how you could just end it all.
What was
But then
well, when did it happen?
a couple of months ago, that was the when it sort of really kicked off. But then I recognized this as warning signs, and because of the discipline that I've been working on, the cold baths, the exercise, the being strict with my diet, I have been taking care of my physical being to a degree, but with the overworking and feeling alone, isolated, it just happened. I don't know why it happens. Your brain is just suggesting you can do this and it's over. Oh, you can just do this and it's over. And it went for I think a period of 3 days where my biggest challenge was not to end it.
So thank you for sharing it. I think that it's a lot of courage to share this experience with people, with the audience. So thank you for sharing this with me, with other people. I think it's quite a profound story, and I'm sure that a lot of things led to this, and not a one-day choice. You came to this idea, so there were a lot of things that came together, and I'm sure that when you overcome it, then you will not come back to it anymore because you found the world is beautiful and your country is beautiful and your partners are such nice people and you have such a nice mission and you will become a figure in the future, a public figure with a lot of impact on the world. And also as I came to know you through our common friend Stefan, and I learned, I saw your exercise, how you take cold showers in the spring, in the cold water, like 0 degree, 1 degree, 2 degree, 2 degrees, and then you go and make workout. So I wanted also, it was my inclination just to, as I'm doing almost the same, a similar thing, but I'm quite older than you. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28, yeah. I'm almost twice as old as you. I'm 51. I came to make a challenge with you, and so we had a lot of fun doing the pull-up and things, but not yet cold water from my side. So can you explain what are your take on regime, on discipline and exercise?
I've always loved exercising, and for me, it has always been an outlet. In my teens, I was also felt very much alone because I've always been an odd individual. So I found an escape in going to the gym. But with time, it's more of an optimization. I have a drive to always keep optimizing, and exercise is a form of optimization. And I don't know if it's so much discipline or if it's just a form of OCD, where to me, I have to do it because if I do not do it, I become a person that I do not like myself because it's too much energy built up inside that I don't have an outlet for, which then again triggers my focus. I lose my sense of focus. It can trigger not that I'm an angry individual, but I do feel that especially if I have my child and something is happening and it's very drama, and I just, okay, now I have to just exit the room, take a breather, calm down, and then re-enter the room, not to sort of lose it. But their exercise is a good outlet because if you have a lot of anger, which it's okay to have anger inside, but do not put this anger onto other humans, put this anger into productivity. And with anger, you can keep running, you can keep lifting heavier, and afterwards, you don't feel angry anymore. So it's a healthy outlet for feelings that are completely okay to have. Just do not put it on other humans.
Yeah, yeah, that's sound advice about using physical exercise and discipline as outlet for your extra energy and disgust or some for your angry feelings and wrath towards other people. Sebastian, according to your experience as an entrepreneur, what do you advise and recommend to other people who are starting on the entrepreneurial journey? What young people, like 20 years, 25 years, like after graduating from college, from university, what are the main roadblocks on this journey and how to overcome it? Maybe you can name a few of them.
Find something that makes you tick, the thing that really keeps you going, the thing that you want to do on a Sunday evening because you just love doing it, and keep doing this and make this your business. And even though you have a lot of energy in the beginning, I'm going to start this, it's a rough road. It's going to be terrible at times. But as long as you keep going and move forward, you can move backwards, but as long as you keep pushing forward again after a setback, you will make it.
Thank
Never
you.
give up. Never give up.
That's the words of Churchill. Yeah, Winston Churchill said it. I think so. Sebastian, what? I think that we are coming to the end of this interview, and I'm thankful a lot for your sincerity, for sharing so a lot of insights, and even this crazy story about suicide, not attempt, but thinking about it, and that's. I think that it's not. It's not a weak person's take on it. One of my favorite authors, Tim Ferriss, he thought about 50 times about suicide. And so he was with a gun put into his head. One of the stories which he shared on his TED Talk about this. And so that is something, a pivot moment for many. And I experienced similar things. So can you, I think that you have a great team, like great team, different people with different personality. And I talked to Vetle, I talked to Stefan, I talked to you now. And so, how do you feel? Why should people come to work with you, to partner with you with their projects? And what is your like unique angle of your team and your attitude and your expertise and whatever for the people to be attracted to you and to start working with you?
My philosophy in leadership is walk in front as an example for people to stretch towards. I'm more than happy by someone walking past me, but then you also gotta outwork me. So I'm leading by being the example that I would hope and desire others to strive to be. And then it's up to the people if they're willing to follow or not.
That's awesome. Awesome. And I'm sure that you have a great future, you yourself, and you have a discipline, and you have the attitude, and you have the desire to change other people for the best. And I think that maybe your team will change the attitude of people in Norway from depression to the joy, and joy of with the use of your companion software, with your chatbots, with your networking events, and just being the people you are. So you are such an open young team, and impressed with that. So I wish you all the best to all of your team, and happy to be interviewing all of you. And thank you, Sebastian, for your time that you took to answer my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.